Hi, this is Trey with Rougarou Lacrosse. Wanted to talk about the rule changes for the upcoming 2015 season at the NCAA level. It's also going to affect us here in Louisiana as we're going to be playing by NCAA rules. And I know a few other high school leagues also play by NCAA rules. So we're going to run down the major ones that really affect that people are talking about right now. The first one's going to be the on-field shot clock, which is going to be required for all D1 teams. They will require it of all facilities, I think, as of 2017 for D2 and D3. Any facilities that don't, obviously, it'll still be kept. It'll be kept by the officials. Now, the shot clock starts at the stall warning. At least that's my understanding. And it's a 30-second shot clock, which will also coincide with the game clock, allowing the refs to not have to worry about keeping that on the field. Therefore, they may not miss anything. It makes their life a little bit easier, but that's definitely going to speed up on those stall warnings. What that means is teams that like to hold the ball and grind out games, you're going to have to speed up the game a little bit. You're not going to be able to sit there and hold and hold and hold. What that also means is at the end of a game, when you're killing a team, you still have to try to put points on the board because you have to take a shot. So I could see good and bad things from it, but quite honestly, I think the biggest issue or the biggest reason for them going to this is going to be because of really viewability. People want to watch teams score points, and outside of diehard lacrosse people, they don't want to see a very technical game. They want to see a fun game. They want to see a game with lots of points being scored, lots of excitement. So I think that's really a huge thing, is to try to speed up that game, and that's what I'm pretty sure they're trying to do with the shot clock. Also trying to make it a little bit easier, I think, on the refs too, so they're not so arbitrary, even though it still sounds like they may be able to arbitrarily initiate the clock just like a stall warning. But after that, it's not a imaginary number. So that's going to be a good thing, I think, though. It's going to be definitely more consistent. It's going to give players something to kind of gauge, as opposed to, well, what's the ref's count? What is he on? It's just going to be easier to watch it. So that's one major change. I think a lot of people are liking that. A few people don't, but me, I don't really care either way. Second change, which is going to be a huge one as far as lacrosse goes, because you're going to see, I bet you this bites a lot of people, and you see it in a few other sports where it's not allowed, but the whole over and back rule. Now, over and back is something in lacrosse that we've never, or at least in field lacrosse, you never really have to deal with. You see it all the time. You see guys carry it back and forth, really work that field space. Now, for those of you who don't quite understand what I mean, I'm going to draw it up here for you. So what we have, I'm going to draw the midfield line, goal there, goal there. So hopefully y'all can see this pretty well. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. So basically, if player has the ball in possession, runs across the midfield line, and then turns back and comes back, that's over and back. It'll result in turnover going the opposite direction. Now, traditionally, we've always been able to go into that bounce back and forth all we want, right? Really spread that field. Well, now it's really going to force guys, once they get across that midfield line, they're not going to be able to turn back across that midfield line for pressure. So midfielder defenders who really like to be very, very aggressive at that midfield line, you're going to love this, because you might be able to force them back across, create a turnover. It's definitely going to change a little bit. It definitely shrinks the field for the offense. So we'll see how that works. That's going to be pretty interesting as far as I'm concerned. Now, the last one, the one that most people are just fuming about at this point in time, are the face-off rule changes. Now, the reason why they're doing that is a lot of the face-off guys, they've been trained to face off a certain way, and that's to face off per possession for themselves, if at all possible, the pinch and pop, right? You see it all the time. Guy running down the face-off guy gets it, pulls it out up himself in the back of his stick, runs down the field, creates the possession and the fast break for his team. Well, now they have made that completely, that's a no-no. So to illustrate, this is no longer allowed. You cannot have the ball in the back of your stick and running down the field. It's not going to be allowed. So the whole, going down, pinching it up, pulling it back out, running down the field with it, not going to happen. They're going to have to clamp or pop or punch or put the ball out to a space and let your wing guys get it, or fight for the ground ball yourself. Now, how that's going to play out is going to be very interesting. Basically, teams who have very fast wing guys, very solid ground ball guys, this is a huge benefit to them. So you got that solid LSM, you got that solid wing play. That's really going to be huge. Now, face-off guys, I'm sure will find a way around it. They're going to find something to do, but it's really it's going to make a huge difference in how the game is played. I think we're not going to see near the fast breaks out of it as we saw off the face-off circle, or at least maybe not the same kind of fast breaks. It's certainly not going to be face-offs dominating a game. It is now, at least what I'm thinking, if it's working how it's working in my head, it's going to be ground ball play and wing play dominating in that end. Which, I could see it. I see why they did it, but at the same time, I can see why people are upset about it. On one hand, they did it so a face-off guy cannot dominate the game. So face-offs cannot decide the outcome. At the other end, I see these face-off guys work their butts off. Fogo guys are, really good Fogo guys. They get those scholarships, and so they're worried about losing out on that. So it's kind of it's a catch-22, but I think face-off guys are really, I don't think those Fogos are going to lose those scholarships. Because it's still going to be important to get the clamp and be able to direct that ball where you want it to go, or be able to pop it or punch it or whatever you want to do with the ball. That's still going to be huge to get it to put your guys in the best position to win out. So I don't think that they're going to lose the scholarships like they think they are. It may not be for a faux go. They may have to play a little bit more than just the face-offs, but good face-off play will still matter, and I think it's still going to play a huge impact on the game, just in a different fashion. So that's the number one. That's one rule of the face-off. The other change in face-offs, which is going to be a big difference for a lot of us who've been playing for a while, is the whole procedure of the face-off. Now, whereas before is they put the ball down, players came together, they went down. It was down, whistle, and they went right, and the ref standing right there. Well, they've changed that now. The official will no longer be standing there. It's now going to be the players are going to go down. The ref's going to say down, and then he's going to place the ball in between the two crosses at, I guess, their widest points is what he's supposed to do. And then he's going to back out and then blow the whistle. Now, that's going to be very interesting to see. Timing is going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard to jump that face. It's going to be hard to jump that whistle. However, I think it's good because officials can't get in the way. It does get them off to the side or wherever out of that play. And it's going to make it a little bit more of an even draw, I do believe, because you can't really time that official since he has to step out. It can't be a, down go or any kind of cadence. It's literally, it's a down, he puts the ball in place, and he gets out. I think that is going to make a bit of a change, and it's going to make that face-off square a little bit more evened out as far as being able to jump the whistle on a face-off. Once again, I'm going to see, we'll see how that works out and if it really does make a difference or not. I'm going to be excited to see how this affects our high school level here in Louisiana, as well as other states that play with that NCAA rules. I'm excited about the changes here in Louisiana, especially because face-offs did make a huge difference, especially for the smaller schools or the newer programs, really going against the experienced programs. They had those really good face-off guys that have been training for a while, and we got like younger guys. I think it's going to level that playing field just a hair for those newer programs in Louisiana. Now, obviously, other areas it may not matter. So, we'll see what happens, but definitely going to be exciting 2015 season with these changes. For better or for worse, they're going to change them. If it's awful, they can always change them back next year. So until next time, this is Trey with Rougarou Lacrosse.